men's T1-2 road race. Riders on a tricycle. And the classification T1, more severely impaired athletes than the T2, but all with impairments that affect coordination and balance. So 1 minute to the start of the men's T1-2 road race. Starting shortly after this will be the women's T1-2 road race. Last moments to focus and concentrate now for these athletes. They've waited a long time for their road race. The para road discipline has been a 4-day event, and this the final afternoon. Twelve riders head off on the men's T1-2 road race at Clichy-sous-Bois on the final afternoon of the para road cycling discipline here at Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. They will do 42.6 kilometers. Each lap is 14.2 kilometers. And caution will be exercised by all these riders in these tricky conditions in the wet, particularly on these corners and where there are the white lines. They become very, very slippery indeed. So making a move very early on from the United States, Dennis Connors. He's the current T2 world champion. In this field, we have 8 athletes classified as T2, and then 4 the more severely impaired T1 athletes in this. They are racing for 1 medal. The defending champion, he is a T1 athlete, Jianxin of China, just tucked in this group, and he celebrates his 38th birthday today. Can he bring home a gold medal on his birthday? So already a group separating itself, 7 riders from the rest of the bunch. Connors on the front with Belgium's Celen, the silver medalist in Tokyo, behind him. And sitting and watching this, as she has done throughout the Paralympic Games, all the enthralling action in the paracycling, both in the velodrome and the road, is Rochelle Gilmore.
Hi Gerald, I'm so excited about the tricycle racing and the men's T1-2 road race, and followed shortly by the women's T1-2 road race. So very, very exciting events, the tricycle events. Very skillful riders, have a little bit of a challenge with some water on the roads as well. But you can see the cornering, how they really do need to do a lot of training at high speeds through the corners to be able to handle these tricycles. They are amazing pieces of equipment.
Well, on course already towards the back, 3 riders just losing contact. And this group up front of 7 being dragged along by Dennis Connors of the United States. Well, we are having some difficulty with our on-course motorbike cameras. We will bring you these images from the sky and on occasion from down on the road, but we will bring you the action to the absolute best of our abilities, considering the weather that is prevailing over Paris.
Dennis Connors of the USA, he's taking charge, setting the pace at the front.
At the start at Clichy-sous-Bois, the women's T1-2 road race, a field of 6 athletes ready to begin their 2 laps of the 14.2 kilometer course. Germany's Jana Majunke is perhaps the favorite here, the defending champion. She's a T2 athlete. Celen van Til will challenge her. And likewise, Marieke van Soest, T1 athlete from the Netherlands, a world champion in 2022. And athletes Emma Lund of Denmark, Dulce Maria Gonzalez Guerrero from Mexico, and Pavlina Vejudova of the Czech Republic.
Well, we have a very small but extremely strong contenders here in the women's T1-2 road race. Focus. Look at the focus. Well, it's been 3 years of development, progress and hard work put into this. See, look at the skies.
The flag drops for the last of the individual medals to be decided on the roads around Clichy-sous-Bois, on the Paris cycling road discipline here at Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. It is the women's T1-2 road race. 6 athletes bidding for 1 gold medal. They're across 2 classifications, and there are 3 each from the T1 and 2 classifications, but just 1 medal on offer.
Celen van Til of Switzerland takes out the front of the bunch and sets the pace. And she is one of the T2 athletes, as we see on the back, the Mexican rider T1 athlete, the slightly greater impairment. Oh, look at this from the USA on the front of the men's T1-2 road race. It is the world champion from Glasgow last year in 2023, Dennis Connors.
Yeah, the Pan-Para champion as well. He won in Chile in 2023. We will bring you those images from around the course and from up above, as going to the front is Juan Jose Betancourt Quiroga, bronze medalist in Tokyo. So a lot of the real contenders already making their presence felt here. Chen from China is at the back of this group, which is now 6 strong. He is the defending champion. Just in front of him is Austrian Wolfgang Steinbichler. And then it's the Belgian, silver in Tokyo, Tim Celen.
I believe Tim Celen, he really wants to improve on that silver medal from Tokyo. He's very, very motivated for a win here.
German Max Jaeger is in there. The women's T1-2 road race on their opening lap, just heading out. And Denmark's Emma Lund has gone to the front, with Switzerland's Celen van Til behind her. Just drifting off the back here is Dulce Maria Gonzalez Guerrero. Just putting a bit of an effort in to try and regain contact. She does not want to get detached from this group this early in the race.
Well, it's extremely difficult when you have the current world champion from Glasgow last year in 2023 from Denmark, Emma Lund, on the front, setting a really high pace.
She's one of the 3 T2 athletes in here. The T1 world champion in 2023, Pavlina Vejudova, is also in this field. And they will make their way around these streets, these slightly damp and slippery streets, on 2 laps of this 14.2 kilometer circuit. The gold medalist in the time trial, the individual time trial. And the opening day of competition here was Marieke van Soest of the Netherlands. Celen van Til was second in that. The men's T1-2 road race. This lead group all still together and setting the pace on the front. Well, I wonder if they'll share the workload. It is Juan Betancourt Quiroga from Colombia. Twice a world champion in the T2 category. He was 8th in 2022. And a few little looks and maybe conversations. Connors is in fact pointing out that Celen's got a problem on his bike.
Yeah, he's saying, look, try and get a little further up the road before you stop for a mechanical assistance.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he's to the back of his bike. That's why he's just getting an indication he needs to pull over, because that can be a danger to the riders behind him, as it may well detach from the bicycle.
Well, that's fantastic camaraderie amongst these riders. Dennis Connors, the American, just pointing out firstly to the Belgian that he has a problem there, and then trying to indicate up the road that he has a problem, and letting him go up there, try and get it sorted out as quickly as can, and see if he can get back into the race.
It would be absolutely devastating if it put him out of the race, because he's got huge ambitions here. The rider from Belgium, Tim Celen. Yeah, great camaraderie, like you said, to give him that benefit of just moving up the road to pull over to get some assistance.
And he and Connor were Connor was the gold and Celen the silver medalist at the Glasgow World Championships in 2023. And so they are sharing the load on the front there. It is Steinbichler of Austria who's gone to the front. Meanwhile, Celen is looking for assistance somewhere along the road. His Belgian support team may well be there to help him out. Otherwise, it'll be the neutral car that will be able to try and help him out there. But that looks an issue that will need some attention. T-bar at the back has come loose.
The women's T1-2 road race is really starting to develop now on the first lap. There are 4 riders with a little bit of a break. It's Lund, Majunki, Bantil and Van Zost. They're representing their nations here at the Paralympic Games in fine style at the start of the women's road race. Oh, so here we go. The mechanics are under pressure because they need to, as quickly as possible, fix the rear of this bike. And it'll be a big job for Tim Celen to make his way back to those leaders out on the course.
It is a tricky one because it's not like a puncture or a chain break where, you know, there's a fairly standard fix that obviously slipped out, and the mechanic doing his best to try and repair it. Meanwhile, on the front of the men's T1-2 road race, it is Wolfgang Steinbichler, beg your pardon, who's gone up the road.
Yeah, well, Connors at the USA was he's still trying to tell the peloton, hey guys, let's just be a bit etiquette here and wait for Tim Celen to get back into the group. Whereas other riders are saying, hey, it's the Paralympic Games here, we have an opportunity. It's not our fault there was a mechanical to the bike. It should have been all looked over last night and this morning and double-checked, triple-checked. But the gentleman of the group, he wants to take control here.
It's that we've observed it in various races over the, well, in any cycle race you see it, is that slightly grey area of the camaraderie and etiquette and the spirit of the sport, trying to allow a rider who's had a misfortune like that to regain contact with the group. The other side of it is, as Rochelle has pointed out, part of the sport. Women's T1-2 road race, and these 4 riders now on the front. Switzerland's Celen van Til is the rider just ahead of the double gold medalist from Tokyo, Jana Majunka of Germany, and then Denmark's Emma Lund, the world champion in the T2 at the moment. And the Netherlands, Marieke van Soest, gold medalist in the time trial, sits at the back of this group. They have separated themselves from the other riders in this race. Dulce Maria Gonzalez Guerrero of Mexico and Pavlina Vejevodova. Van Soest just yo-yoing off the back of this group.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it, early in the race, if these riders are just playing it safe or if they are struggling physically, energy-wise, muscular strength. Whether they're just leaving gaps for safety reasons, but certainly no holding back from the Swiss and German at the front. A little bit of conversation going on there between the Danish and the Swiss rider.
There are two distinct climbs on this route, and the one comes leading up to 6 kilometers, and then the second one, arguably the harder of them, is a little bit shorter, but does get a bit steeper at around 4.8, 4.9% gradient in the last 2 kilometers of the lap. And then it flattens out as they go through the start-finish. They'll do that at the end of this lap, and then they'll be on their final lap. 28.4 kilometers for the women's T1-2 road race, 2 laps of the course. Well, lovely to see spectators out there despite the weather. The crowds around Clichy-sous-Bois have been absolutely amazing.
Well, as when Gerald, you pointed out, Van Soest of the Netherlands just yo-yoing on and off the back. Well, she is the only T1 rider of this breakaway. So we have 3 T2 riders and the rider from Netherlands T1. So balance and coordination are a little bit more impaired for the rider from the Netherlands, Van Soest.
The men's T1-2 road race, they go through the little chicane, and this is a very fast downhill with a left-hand corner at the bottom. Connors was on the front there, but he's just ceded that position. And this is the leading group in the men's C1-2 road race in the forests. And we will have these images from the air. Unfortunately, the weather conditions have made it difficult to bring regular images from on the road on the motorbikes. But our crew on the ground and at the venue will do absolutely everything in their power to bring you the very best images throughout these races. Sometimes the weather is the final arbiter when it comes to some of these issues.
O'Connor's on the front. He's just trying to control the pace because he's still concerned about Celen having a mechanical. Oh, look at the power being applied now in the women's T1-2 road race on the first climb of the day. It is Jana Mayunki of Germany applying the pressure and really putting Lund from Denmark under pressure.
And that'll be a strong ride because Lund is the T2 world champion, sitting at the back here, and just in front of her now, Marieke van Soest has managed to get onto the back wheel of Celen van Til of Switzerland, but a really good effort from Jana Mayunki, the German.
Well, and yeah, Emma Lund just making her way back on the climb, as you said, world champion from last year in Glasgow 2023. Well, she fights her way back to this group of 4 leaders in the women's T1-2 road race. They're on one of the tough climbs, and it looks like Emma Lund is trying to make her way around the Dutch rider just to put herself in a little bit of a stronger position. And as we said, Van Soest being a T1 rider of this group.
We're about 5.5 kilometers into the first lap of 14.2 and a total distance of 28.4 kilometers. These conditions, even if they were cars, racing cars, have different tyres, or they have different tyres and pressures for the rain?
Oh, absolutely. And they call the tricycle racing of paracycling the Formula One of the sport because their machinery is so important. Look at Connors there, just trying to slow down the peloton to let Tim Celen of Belgium get back into this group. He's still very concerned about making this a fair race, with one of the big favourites unfortunately having an early mechanical.
Very cautiously around that corner in these wet conditions. Quiroga of Colombia has decided he's going to go to the frontier and try and dictate matters. This is fast, this descent. He's got to be careful when they get to the bottom. A sharp turn as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, too fast.
Too fast. Well, he looked a little ambitious as he went down on the attack on that descent. And he got away lightly, did Quiroga.
Yeah, well done to the organisers for the padding on that corner, because that really did save Quiroga, the Colombian, and he'll be able to make his way back. Oh, another mechanical out on the road, and it looks like it's a similar issue to Tim Celen's of Belgium, the back of the bike.
Jindrich Masin is also having his bike fixed, the rider from Czech Republic, and Connors going very carefully around these corners. Well, that will act, I'm sure, as a warning sign for all these riders. That close call that Juan Betancourt Quiroga had, being a little bit overeager and flying down the descent and shooting through the corner. Well, it's left him on the back foot here, because this is the problem that the rider from the Czech Republic had, Masin.
It's interesting, difficulty on the corner, something not quite right with his bike. There's the replay of the Colombian. He was on the attack, a little bit too much speed into that corner. Well, a safe recovery, and he is back chasing the leaders now.
Now, a four-rider group in the men's race. That little incident with Quiroga has separated him out from this group, and so it is going to be Connors who's watching Steinbichler go up the road here, the Austrian. Also in this, Jianxin Chen of China, the defending champion. And well, there's Quiroga making his way back. In fact, beg your pardon, that's the German Maximilian Jaeger, I think, who's coming back into this. Past Connors.
Yeah, Connors wasn't very happy about the early injection of pace. Will he have the strength to make it back to these four? Surely he's not waiting for Tim Celen to help him come back. That would be a huge surprise. But Connors, being one of the stronger riders in this race, it's surprising to see that he is dropped early on this little rise.
Men's T1-2 road race to 3 laps here, so they are getting towards the top of the second climb of the day and of the lap. And in a short while they'll be on the flats, and they'll catch sight of the 1 kilometer kite, which will take them through the finish line for the first time. With Steinbichler on the frontier now, Germany's Jaeger, and China's defending champion Jianxin.
Well, a bit of a battle going on the chase here.
I wonder if Connors was going back to even help Quiroga. They've gone under the 1 kilometer kite there, and he's giving Quiroga a little bit of a tow towards the top, and now the Colombian says, I can go, thank you. And he gets on the front.
Well, either that or he's not having a great day, Connors, but we'd be very surprised if that's the case.
He's certainly shown himself to be, whether it's nominated by the others or his own appointment, but he seems to be the captain of this group, having trying to dictate the way it's gone about. But he's dropping off a little bit as Quiroga's working hard to try and link up with this group here. Well, that's a good recovery from the Colombian after that scary moment. So 3 riders in the lead group in the men's T1-2 road race as they're coming around to complete their first lap of 3. Very cautiously, these bikes can tip over fairly easily if they get the balance wrong, and they all negotiate their way around this corner, no problem at all. Steinbichler, then it's Jianxin Chen. In fact, he's in the third wheel here. It is the German Max Jaeger, second wheel. And the chase is on from the Colombian Quiroga.
Yeah, certainly no waiting around, is there? From the big Austrian man, Steinbichler. He is really putting the pace down, along with the German Maximilian Jaeger.
First lap of the men's T1-2 road race completed. And it is a group of 3 on the front. Wolfgang Steinbichler, Max Jaeger, and Jianxin Chen. 4 seconds behind them, Juan Betancourt, Quiroga, and Dennis Connors of the United States, 11 seconds back after 1 lap of 3. Connors distanced a little bit here on that climb, and that'll give his rivals for the gold medals a little bit of encouragement. Powerful American Connors.
Yeah, well, there has been 1 year past since he was the gold medalist in 2023 in Glasgow. Connors, the rider from the USA. So we would be surprised if he is being dropped. He's 39 years of age.
This is the rider from Czech Republic, Jindrich Masin, who had the mechanical. It didn't seem to take too long to sort out, and he is now going to come through in 6th place in the men's T1-2 road race after 1 lap. Behind him, the likes of Nathan Clement, the Canadian, Giorgio Farroni of Italy, Celen as well.
Well, good to see Celen back chasing. He's got his bike fixed.
So it is the Czech Republic athlete Jindrich Masin who crosses the line now, and he is in 6th place. Now there's the issue that Celen has still got. So the Belgian has clearly either decided to ride on with the issue, or it's come unstuck again.
Yeah, I think it may have been fixed, but not properly, because the commissaires are likely to ask him to remove himself from the race if this is a danger to other riders in the race. So I think he's asking for more assistance. Can we please find a way to repair this broken part of the tricycle?
Well, really dramatic time for Tim Celen of Belgium. On the opening lap, he picked up a mechanical. He's a silver medalist from Tokyo, so he's a real contender for the medals. But as you can see, the back bar on his tricycle has come loose. It came loose early in the lap. The mechanic stopped to fix it. He stopped to fix it, and it has come loose again. And that certainly will be of concern to him, and perhaps to the race commissaires during this lap. They may say that if he cannot get it repaired and fixed, he will have to pull out of the race.
Yeah, well, it really is a safety issue, because that bar there is to prevent the other riders. But they are talking about a way that they can come in now. He'll have a stop with his team mechanic, and the team mechanic's going to use that very strong sticky tape he has in his hand, ready to seal that.
Well,
piece.
Whatever works. Let's hope it does for Tim Celen. This is a moment of drama in this men's T1-2 road race.
Well, after 1 lap, he was already significantly down, 2 minutes and 25 seconds. So he's just lost some more time to these leaders, which means it's nearly an impossible task for the Belgian rider Tim Celen over the next 2 laps to get his way back.
And when that happened, when it was picked up, the issue he had, it was on that first climb. Women's T1-2 road race, and it's still the quartet of riders on the front here all together, just about, as they negotiate their way around the right-hander. And head down the hill. It's Germany's Jana Majunka, the defending champion. And on her wheel, very close, is Switzerland's Celen van Til.
Yeah, Celen van Til and Jana Majunka of Germany seem to be the two strongest riders at this point of the race.
Van Til was the silver medalist behind Marieke van Soest in the individual time trial. Emma Lund at the back here, she was the bronze medalist, so there's plenty of quality in this lead group. Remember, these riders are a blend of classifications 1 and 2. And the classification 1, whoopsie, and Van Soest just manages to save it before the barriers, unlike Quiroga a little bit earlier. So Van Soest does well. That's a very tricky little chicane that the riders have to deal with. Just avoids making contact with the padded barriers, which is, Michelle has noted, a very good thing. The race organisers have that there. It is a dangerous part of the course. Looks as though it may have dried up just a little bit out there. As Van Til glances over her shoulder, she's got one rider for company, Jana Majunga, the German. Van Til setting a very solid pace, the time trial world champion.
Yeah, and here in Paris, the German was the gold medalist in the individual time trial, and the Swiss rider was the silver medalist. So, wow, look at this. Really, really great effort to see Marieke van Soest of the Netherlands make her way back.
That's an impressive ride. Remember, she had that slight overshoot at the start of that chicane, and she's managed to put the afterburners on and catch up. And Emma Lund is doing the same behind the Danish rider, out of the saddle, up the climb to try and close down these three riders and rejoin them and make four on the front. This is the start of the second ascent on the 14.2 kilometer lap. It is around about probably just under 2 kilometers from the finish line. So it does play a pivotal role when it gets down to the business end if these four riders were together at the end of the next lap.
Only 2 laps to race for the women in the men's T1-2 road race. Well, we've seen an injection of pace from the Colombian. Quiroga is out in front setting the pace. He's making his rivals chase. Well, he is igniting the race.
Well, he's a brave man, is Quiroga. We saw him go on the attack on a very fast, tricky descent and overcooked it. He got away with it there by just managing to apply enough brakes not to have too much contact with the barriers. He did hit the barrier, but no damage done to his bike or himself. And Steinbichler has led the chase. Jaeger, Chen and Connors are all back in touch with Quiroga now. The leading trio after one lap, led by Wolfgang Steinbichler, and it was Max Jaeger and Chen Jianxin of China. After one lap, they were all together, 4 seconds ahead of Quiroga, who's now in this group here. And Dennis Connors was 11 seconds off the group. Now he's with this group.
A strong group of 5 riders in the breakaway in the men's T1-2 road race. After completing one lap with 2 laps to go. Well, they're inside, halfway around the second lap.
It's a 12-rider field, and the back of the field has just gone through the finish line. Kim Yongki of Korea, 7 minutes and 12 seconds down with Martin Heggelund of Denmark. So that's the gap to the back of this field. Also still trailing former world champion Giorgio Farroni in the T1 category. In the women's T1 road race, it is the German Jana Majunka, the gold medalist Rio, who continues to go on the front. She and Celen van Til, the 33-year-old Swiss rider, have sort of shared the workload at the front. Van Til, a former equestrian, before she had an accident and suffered her impairments. She did go to the Rio 2016 Paralympic Games as an equestrian rider, finished 13th in the individual championship G3, beg your pardon. He's on the front here. Van Til started competitive paracycling only in 2022, and here she is leading the road race in the women's T1-2 classification as they approach the finish line at the end of their first lap.
Well, they get the bell for 1 lap to go. There are 4 strong riders in this breakaway.
Well, Emma Lund from Denmark leads the quartet of women as they take the bell. Celen van Til is second rider from Switzerland. Then it is Germany's favorite here, the defending champion Jana Majunke. And right at the back of this group, Marieke van Zust of the Netherlands. 4 riders going into the final lap in the women's T1-2 road race. At the end of the next lap, well, there'll be medals to be won. Which of these riders is going to take the gold medal? And suspects it will be one of these 4 riders. Dulce Maria Gonzalez Guerrero of Mexico and Pavlina Bejovodova is still some way off the back of this group.
Absolutely loving Emma Lund's lean into that corner. Weight distribution. We were talking about the tricycles being the F1 machinery of paracycling because there's been so much technology. It was Alex Zanardi, the ex-Formula 1 driver, who put so much effort into big, huge leaps and bounds of development to make these bikes more stable, more aerodynamic, more comfortable for the riders.
Well, she's a tenacious rider at the back of this group, Marieke van Zust. She's got a gold medal already in the individual time trial, and she's digging deep every time the road goes uphill. She has to haul herself back onto the group here. The Juncker and Van Til and Lund are all T2 riders, so slightly less of an impairment than Van Zust. The men's T1-2 road race. Well, now it's 4 riders at the front of this group, so they've shed a couple of riders. Connors is one of those who's been dropped from this.
Yeah, big surprise if Connors is doing it tough.
Jaeger is on the front for Germany, Steinbichler of Austria, Quiroga from Colombia, and Jianxin of China.
Jaeger and Steinbichler, they look like the 2 strongest riders. The Colombian, well,
yeah, I like the look of him, though. I like the way he's going about it here. He's a bit of an unpredictable rider. He's tucked in third wheel there. And well, Maximilian Jaeger of Germany, a T2 rider, with Steinbichler likewise a T2. The women's T1 road race on their final lap, and Celen van Til is doing a lot of work in this race. We'll find out if it's too much, because she has been on the front for much of this race. Emma Lund of Denmark is behind her, and then it is the German rider Majunke, and just pulling herself back onto the tail end of this group The determined, tenacious Marieke van Soest, T1 world champion in 2022 in both the road race and the time trial. Started out as a para swimmer. Leading the women's race after one lap. Going through the bell lap, it was Emma Lund, Celen van Til, Jana Majunke and Marieke van Soest. Four riders.
Magnificent effort from Van Soest of the Netherlands. She is just fighting around this final lap of the women's T1-2 road race to stay in contact. Being the only T1 rider of this group, she's doing a magnificent job just to hold on to the back of three very, very strong riders.
Young and old roadside, braving the weather and getting out to support these riders in the women's T1-2 road race. Majunke looks as though she's going to put a move in here on the climb, first climb of this final lap. Moving aside and going to the front, seeing if she's sort of got ahead of Lund in that little surge. She just manages to put a gap to Lund, but she's taking it very carefully around this little chicane. I think Majunke knows the danger that is posed by Celen van Til, the 33-year-old from Switzerland. Started out as a para-athlete and in fact managed to qualify for Tokyo as a sprinter, Celen van Til. But just before the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games, she had a nasty fall at a meeting in Tunis, and she stopped competing in athletics. Then she went to triathlon, which of course introduced her to the tricycle, this bike, and she decided, well, you know what, the bike is actually where I want to be, and has focused now on the paracycling disciplines. As I said, just started 2 years ago, and is making a really, really good fist of it here in Paris. Until already a silver medal in the time trial. She's actually told her story on her way back to life, as she called it, after the trauma of her accident and rehabilitation, and now competitive racing. The men's T1 road race. We're back to 5 riders, having been down to 4. Dennis Connors has made his way back in. So this is going to be a very interesting second lap of 3 for these men. Quiroga of Colombia sits on the front. He's done some work. Connors has done some work. Steinbichler has done work on here. So has Max Jaeger. The one rider who's not contributed here has been Jianxin of China. Perhaps the others are saying, well, it's your birthday. You don't have to do anything today. He turns 38 today. Women's race, 4 riders just yo-yoing a little as Majunke and van Til over that little pavé section. And Lund is going to make contact with van Til's back wheel very shortly, and the fiercely determined Van Soest is hanging right in there. She's in the mix for a medal, no question about that. These 4 riders are well clear of their rivals. And there's a determined effort now from Jana Majunke on the front. But van Til is sticking to her like a limpet.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a real strong rivalry between those 2 women from Switzerland and Germany. They are applying the pressure at the front and trying to take advantage of the difficulty that we're seeing Van Soest take through the corners, having less balance and coordination than the other 3.
The men's T1-2 road race, 5 riders. Betancourt, Quiroga on the front for Colombia. Max Jaeger, Dennis Connors, and it's Steinbichler and Chen at the back. still, they've got a lap and a half to go. So the men still just content at the time, for the time being, to let things be in this quintet of riders. There are still 3 climbs they'll have to deal with. Till now goes to the front. Emma Lund has slotted in behind the Swiss rider. Majunka is the feared rider. I feel that Lund, Van Zust, even Van Til, she's the rider I think they fear, the defending champion, although she didn't defend her time trial title here.
Yeah, she was bronze medalist in the individual time trial here in Paris. While Van Zust of the Netherlands off the back, well, she managed a gold medal in the individual time trial. The Paris Paralympic Games here. So certainly 4 very, very strong riders in the breakaway of the women's T1-2 road race on their final lap.
Well, just a reminder, we'll bring you the images from up high in the sky with our camera in the helicopter, and do our very best to bring you images from down on the road. Unfortunately, the inclement weather around Paris is mitigated against us bringing you regular solid pictures from the motorbikes on the road, but I think we're getting a really good impression of the way these races are unfolding. So Quiroga of Colombia on the front of the men's race here, heading into the little chicane that saw him very nearly come to grief on the opening lap. He overshot that and went into the barriers. Fortunately for him and his bike, he was all right, and he's all right to race on now. Connors of the United States now goes to the front.
Yeah, with a blistering speed. He's really picking up the pace coming into this corner. Well, he's going to really lean his bike. They've got those wet white stripes that are a little bit more slippery than the tarmac. They have to navigate that as well. So it's Connors of the USA leading the charge through the corners, using his skills to his benefit, because look at the work the Colombian has to do to pull back the wheel and get back in the slipstream. Well, great work there by Maximilian Jaeger of Germany. He held the wheel quite well.
I think we've seen Connors' strength is on those descents and the flats, but going up the road now, it is Wolfgang Steinbichler of Austria, and immediately reacting to that is the defending champion, Jianxin Chen. First time we've seen him come to the fore, and that is to chase down Steinbichler. This is a big move from the Austrian on the climb, and Connors is losing ground whilst Quiroga goes around him. He's a good climber, the Colombian, as so many from that South American country are. They do know how to climb, and he's chasing down this pair. Steinbichler on the front, and behind him Jianxin of China. Quiroga, he drags Jaeger back onto the wheel here. And Connors, well, maybe that will put him to rest. He is a very, very good man on the flats and the downhills. He's perhaps the most solidly built of these riders, the former Marine, but he struggles a little bit on the climb. Attack here from the defending champion, China's Chen Jianjin, goes to the front in the men's T1-2 road race, and he's put distance into Steinbichler, who started the attack at the bottom of this climb, but at the top of the climb it is Chen Jianjin of China who's gone away. He's put in a big gap to Steinbichler and Quiroga, and behind him Jaeger. Could be a very decisive move, this. They're closing in on the end of the second lap in the men's race.
What an impressive move by Chen. He's really put the rest of the field under pressure here. He's made his winning move. However, they still will come through the finish for another lap. It's a long way out at this point.
Well, it is bold, isn't it? He might feel this is a gold medal winning move, but there is still one more lap to go. And he made the move on that climb, as it has been one of the most decisive factors throughout these road races at the Paralympic road disciplines, that last climb. And Chen has obviously earmarked that as a launch pad towards a potential victory here.
Well, he's just getting into rhythm now. He wants to ride his own race. Chen from China, defending champion from Tokyo 2020. Well, he's on a mission to defend his title.
Leans into the left-hander.
Very quickly on the pedals to accelerate out of the corner, just utilising. This is a benefit of being out solo, that you can take your own line, you can be on and off the pedals, you don't have to worry about riders in front of you or behind. So he is making his big move now. It's all or nothing, and he's putting 100% into this breakaway.
Closing in on the end of the second lap of the men's T1-2 road race. It is the defending champion, Chen Jianxin of China, who attacked on the climb, approaching the finish line, and has put a gap into his chasers. It could be decisive, because that is a significant lead going into the final lap with three riders. Wolfgang Steinbichler, Germany's Maximilian Jaeger, and behind him it is Colombia's Juan Jose Betancourt Quiroga. Those three are chasing the man up front. They've got 19 seconds of a deficit at this stage. This is the leader in the men's T1-2 road race. Chen flies through the support zone. A word of encouragement from his People's Republic of China team, and away he goes. The women's T1-2 road race is on the final lap, and still four riders in the mix here. Emma Lund of Denmark, Celen van Til of Switzerland, Jana Majunka from Germany is the defending champion, and the T1 rider Van Zust at the back from the Netherlands.
Majunka from Germany sitting in third position. Well, she looks well poised, doesn't she? She's keeping an eye on her competition. She's conserving energy by being in the slipstream. We will most certainly see an attack from one of these riders. They're in the final lap having a lot of conversation.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk going on out there. Van Til has done a huge amount of work in this race on the front. Lund has done a fair share, and so has Majunka. So it's going to be you feel the final climb is going to be the decisive moment again, as it has been in so many races here at Paris.
Well, from the top of that final climb, you see the 1 kilometre to go flag, and then it gets technical, so very difficult to pass riders. So I really do feel the winning move will be made on that last climb. Well,
is this a winning move for Chen Jianxin of China?
I believe he's confident. He's in rhythm. He is looking good. He's got high pace. He knows there's three strong riders chasing behind. However, he will have the confidence of also already picking up a gold medal in the individual time trial here in Paris. So it would be a second gold medal in Paris for Chen of China. He is out on a mission. Well, here are his chasers, and they are working well together. They know they've got a huge task on their hands.
Germany, Steinbichler, and then it's beg your pardon, Austria, Steinbichler, Jaeger, Quiroga, and in fifth place at the moment, Connors of the United States. Women's T1-2 road race is closing in on its finale here. They started out with a task of completing the 28.4 kilometers, 2 laps of this 14.2 kilometer route. And it's been a dynamic route. It's been a route that has provided wonderful entertainment. It's technical at times with those fast ascents and sharp bends at the bottom and a couple of chicanes. And the 2 climbs, one at the start of the lap and one at the end of the lap, Well, one about 5 kilometers into the lap, and the other about 2 kilometers from the end of the lap. 3 now, chasing the gold medal, potential gold medal up the road in the form of Chen, Quiroga, Jaeger, and Steinbichler.
Well, they are working well together.
And, well, Steinbichler, he initiated the attack at the bottom of the climb towards the end of the second lap, and then it was Chen halfway up that climb who burst past him and disappeared up the road. And Quiroga, I think, is backing himself to outclimb for sure Steinbichler. I'm not entirely sure that he'll get away from Jaeger, but that perhaps is what he's looking to do. Still a way up the road, though, that climb. And wonderful to be able to see the trees reflected in shadow on the road, suggesting and showing that the sun is making an appearance here in Paris, which is very welcome on the final day of the para road cycling disciplines. It's drying up nicely in that sunshine. Betancourt, Quiroga leading the chase back. The women's T1-2 road race.
Well, they're getting very close to the business end of the bike race now. They are inside the last half of the final lap.
And they just have to, these roundabouts, they can go either way around it, and the volunteers guiding both riders and bikes. Here is the lead group in the women's race. So it is Francouz who goes to the her right and the other 3 to the left, and it is Celen, the Swiss rider Celen van Til, who goes to the front, and Emma Lund has decided this could be a dangerous move, and very quickly the Danish rider is onto the wheel of van Til.
Well, she really did show her strength there, didn't she? Closing that gap very quickly, moving straight to the front to keep the pace high, to ensure it's just the 2 of them coming into the finale. Yongki, well, she's in a little bit of difficulty on the climb. And Zeus off the back of that breakaway. Well, this is the men's T1-2 road race. Chen of China, he is on a mission for a second gold medal here at the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. Well, he is in his zone.
Well, he made the break at the tail end of the second lap. He's got 10 kilometers to hang on for now. He's got the climb to deal with, and then he can this first climb and then the second, and he's got to then contemplate the thought of another gold medal here, back to back. It will be in the road race, having won at Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games, and well, that'll be a worthy way to celebrate his birthday. Women also in the T1-2 road race, they are on their final lap as well. Only 2 laps for the women, 3 laps for the men, and Emma Lund controlling things at the moment on the front.
We certainly have a race on our hands here in the women's T1-2 road race, with 4 riders who have managed to stay together. A couple of attacks have broken up a little bit, but it keeps coming back together. Just testing the legs, keeping an eye on each other now. It starts to be a bit of cat and mouse coming into the finish. Well, Chen in the men's T1-2 road race is extending his lead out on the road, because there is quite a distance back to 4 strong chasers.
Yeah, these for something, well, they'll have to, someone's going to have to try something here if they want to prevent Chen from having a ride to the gold medal. Well, the gold medal is very much up for grabs in the women's T1-2 road race. Emma Lund, Celen van Til, Jana Majunke on the right-hand side, the German. And at the back of this group, It is the Dutch rider Marieke van Soest. She's the only T1 classification rider in this group. The other three all T2s. T1 are more severely impaired than the T2 racers. They're all racing for one medal.
Yeah, Van Soest, she has a little bit more difficulty with coordination and balance, as we can see when it comes through the corners. She has to work very hard to get back on and into the slipstream. She does have raw power. When it comes to data, she's one of the strongest riders, but the skill of getting around these corners and having to work extra hard to get back on makes it quite difficult for the Dutch rider Van Soest.
Inside 3 kilometers to go. A little chicane negotiated by Emma Lund on the front for Denmark in the women's T1-2 race. The men's T1-2 race, well, it's in the hands of this man, the defending champion. He is in control of the gold medal right now, Chen Jianxin of China. He just needs to keep it going on now the dry roads of Clichy-sous-Bois.
Well, in the women's T1-2 road race, it's coming very close to the finish. And we have a huge fight on our hands. We've seen the two strong riders from Switzerland and Germany fighting it out.
Until of Switzerland, yeah, she's been so strong throughout. Majunke of Germany and Lund of Denmark. Another cautiously negotiated corner, and they're out of that. And Van Til has got a little bit of a gap on Majunke. The rider up ahead of Van Til is in the men's race. That's Martin Heggelund at the back end of the men's race. Oh, Majunke and Van Til here. And Emma Lund digging deep to try and put herself in the frame for the gold medal. And don't discount Marieke van Soest at the back as well.
And definitely not. Because if she does have the raw power, she will use that on the final climb. That is for certain. Oh, Lund putting in a huge effort here. Well, on the right side of the road is actually one of the men's race. We can see the 4 women behind. They are racing coming into the finish.
Here goes Van Soest, and there are tail end of the men's race there. Van Soest can't get past, and Van Til goes to the left and takes Majunke with her. Now Van Soest goes, she looks across. This is the power of the Dutch rider. She's been battling to stay on terms on all the climbs, but look at her go now. This is fantastic. Marieke van Soest.
Well, she had to use this incline with her brute power to go to the front and make her move, and that's what she's done. Only one rider able to stay with her at the moment. That is the Swiss rider Van Til. Oh, Van Soest, can she drop the Swiss rider? Majunke of Germany making contact again. Van Soest, she won't take pressure off the pedals now. She has to all-in effort to the finish.
And the top of the climb is just about there. They'll be going under the 1 kilometer kite very, very shortly. And an attack on this final climb has given Marieke van Soest an opportunity to race for gold in this T1-2 women's road race, but she won't have it her own way. Celen Van Til of Switzerland sitting on her wheel there. Then it's Majunke, and ranging up on the left in the Danish colours, it is Emma Lund. It is anyone's gold medal this in the women's T1-2 road race. Absolutely anyone. Lund now. She comes into the frame. Van Soest is tiring, but Lil is there. Until at least she is going to go with Emma Lund's wheel.
Oh, Van Soest might have gone a little bit too early, because Emma Lund is now really, really putting the pressure down. And a great job from Van Til of Switzerland. She now goes to the front to show her power. They know the first rider over the top of the climb with 1 kilometre to go has got a huge advantage with those technical corners coming into the finish. And it is Celen Ventil of Switzerland, who manages to go under that 1 kilometre banner in the lead, just ahead of Emma Lund. Denmark, well, she is putting up a big fight. She's now taken the lead. This is a drag race to the finish. They are inside the last kilometre. And on the inside is Ventil. She has the better line. Has Emma Lund got the power to get to the finish first? Well, it's a drag race.
Well, Van Zust is still hanging in there as well, the Dutch rider who went to the front on the middle of that last climb. And she is trying to haul herself onto the back wheel of Emma Lund, who is, well, they are neck and neck. It is going to be a drag race to the line. Celen Ventil now gives way as Emma Lund now goes to the front. Can she hold it all the way to the line? They're within sight of the finish. One left-hand corner, and then the finish line will be in front of them. And don't discount Mayunka still in this frame. The German rider has pulled herself into the picture. We could have a 4-up dice for the gold medal here in the women's T1-2 road race. Emma Lund, Celen Ventil. Here comes Mayunka, the German on the outside. She still now just gets ahead of the Dutch rider Van Zust into the final corner. Emma Lund at the front. Celen Ventil, who's it going to be? Who's going to take the gold medal in this women's T1-2 road race? What a thrilling finish to this race. These four have been together for the virtually entire race, and it's a sprint for the line. Ventil or Lund, Ventil or Lund. It looks like Ventil's going to get it, but it could be Lund with a final thrust for the line. They still got about 50 meters to go. Van Zust is not done yet. She's going to try and empty the tank. Lund and Ventil, Switzerland and Denmark, neck and neck in the women's T1-2 road race. It is going to be Emma Lund of Denmark who's going to take the gold medal. What a ride, what a finish. And it'll be Ventil who'll get the silver. And just behind her, Marika Van Zust gets the bronze medal. And Jana Mayunka of Germany, beaten by 8 seconds in an absolute thriller. Wow, what a race. And what delight for Emma Lund, who takes the gold medal in the women's T1-2 road race to add to the bronze medal she picked up in the individual time trial. A very big effort by the gold medalist in the time trial, Marika Van Zust. She initiated the attack up that last climb and hung on to take the bronze medal, the T1 rider. Well, tenacious riding from Emma Lund, acknowledges the support and the fact that she is the gold medal. Emma Lund in the women's T1-2 road race in Paris in 2024.
Oh, what a magnificent final we saw in the women's T1-2 road race. In the men's T1-2 road race, Chen is on a mission in the final lap. He must be approaching the finish line quite soon. He's been on a mission out there in his rhythm.
Well, this man's ridden virtually the entire last lap on his own. He made the attack at the end of lap 2 when he attacked up that final climb and put distance into the group of 4 behind him. And from then on, he has made it his mission to continue on and repeat what he did in Tokyo at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games when he took the gold medal in the road race. And Chen took the gold in the time trial there, and he did that here as well. So we're looking at a double-double here for the man Chen Jianxin from the People's Republic of China. Absolute confidence and belief that his attack with a lap to go was the right place to do it, and he's backed that up with a sensationally strong performance on this final lap of 3 in the men's T1-2 road race over what will be 42.6 kilometers.
Well, at 38 years of age, Chen is being so dominant. He won a gold medal in the time trial here in Paris. He has the confidence, and if everything goes well and there's no mishaps between here and the finish line, he is on his way to victory for a second gold medal here in Paris. Chen from China.
Chase group of the men's T1-2 road race. Well, they are now fighting for the silver medal. Quiroga, Connors, Jaeger and Steinbichler. The 4 riders in that order in this train, as they will have to get clever when it comes to that the final run to the line as to who's going to pick up medals and who's going to miss out, because if they stay like that, 2 are going to miss out. Chen, though, is not going to miss out. He is making every pedal stroke a winning one in this men's T1-2 road race. The defending champion has put in a masterful display here. He made sure he stayed out of the wind over the first lap and a half, and then put his nose in front when it really mattered, and that was up that last climb on the second lap. And that was all he needed to do to put himself right in the frame for a second gold medal. And this final lap has been nothing short of superb. Never quite sure of how far back the chasers are. Well, I think this group of 4 are now consigning themselves to racing for the silver, because Chen is a long way up the road. Quiroga has done a lot of work here. Connors sitting on his wheel. He's yo-yoed back and forth as Dennis Connors. And then Jaeger and Steinbichler, who was 6th at the World Championships and 6th in the time trial here. Technical sections towards the end of this lap. A look over his shoulder by Chen out of the saddle here. He will tell you that you never know how far back they are. When is this race won? It's won when you cross the finish line as the first rider. And he is at this stage looking like the man who is going to take that 2 kilometers to go. He's looking in supreme control of this race. Slightly slick on that corner, but he's got so much in hand. He'll now approach this climb with confidence. Can this quartet, they're not working together. Quiroga is doing all the work on the front yet.
Well, they know this is the race for the silver and bronze medal. There's 4 riders. They will know that the gold medal has ridden out of sight. And it is between these 4 riders, Jaeger, Steinbichler. Well, here's Chen of the men's T1-2 road race. He is riding his way to victory in the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. What an absolute champion.
People's Republic of China have made enormous strides in paracycling over the last 10 years, particularly in the velodrome, where they have some absolute superstars, and they hoovered up 4 gold medals there, but they are certainly bringing riders to the fore as well on the road, and this man, Jianxin Chen, is one of those. An absolute star. Final climb, he's got 1 minute and 37 seconds over the chase group. Well, you'll feel that he would have to either have a mechanical or completely blow up if he's to lose his grip on that gold medal.
Well, he'll certainly love this moment when he can see that red kite at the top of the climb. He'll know from the motorbike the information that he has a lead of 1:37, so he can just pace himself. No need to go into the red, no need to take any risks. It is these 4 riders racing it out for the silver and bronze medals.
Quiroga's been rampant every time he's got on the front. He loves to attack the Colombian, and Betancourt Quiroga is ahead of Dennis Connors of the United States.
Jaeger of Germany just in third position of that chase group. This is Chen leading, riding his way to Paralympic Games gold medal. The defending champion. from the People's Republic of China. It is Chen on fine form here in Paris.
So it is the final lap of this men's T1-2 road race. And well, there were 12 riders who had eyes on gold. And after a lap and a half, it was down to 5 riders in a group. And after 2 laps, it was just 1. And it is this man, the defending champion, who's again showing that he is the dominant force in the T1-2 category. He is a T1 classification rider, but he won the gold medal in both the time trial and the road race in Tokyo at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games. And he then backed it up with a gold in the individual time trial here in Paris, and an attack on the final climb on the second lap of 3 put him in position to race for gold here again in Paris. And it is Chen Jianxin of China who's going to ride his way in towards the finish line and take the victory. As one of the finishers in the women's race, Pavlina Vejadova, crosses the line in the women's T1-2 road race. It is the victory to the birthday boy, Chen Jianxin of China. He now knows with about 50 meters to go, the gold medal is his again. A truly superb ride. An attack on the final climb on the second lap put him in position. It gave him the advantage going into the final lap. And he's shown complete belief and confidence to take a second consecutive gold medal and a second one at these games. The winner of the men's T1-2 road race and the gold medal, it is Chen Jianxin of the People's Republic of China.
Well, he absolutely gave that everything. He wanted that second gold medal here in Paris and to defend his title from Tokyo 2020. What a champion. What a reception from his support team as well. It's a huge effort as we now see 4 riders racing it out for the silver and bronze in the T1-2 men's road race.
We're about 1 minute and 37 down when Chen was a kilometer from the finish. And Steinbichler, Jaeger, Connors now ranging up from the United States on the left-hand side, the former Marine. Then we've got Quiroga from Colombia, who's done so much work. Is that coming back to haunt him? Steinbichler looks as though he's a beaten man here. Jaeger on the front. Connors is digging deep for the United States. There's a silver medal on the table here for one of these riders. Who's it going to be? Quiroga holding firm just behind Connors, who has a bit of advantage. The gold medalist is Chen Jianxin of China in the men's T1-2 road race. The silver medalist is going to come from this group of 4 riders. It's going to be a real fight to the line. Maximilian Jaeger of Germany, he's got the jump on Dennis Connors at the moment, and Jaeger looks as though he's going to go through and take the silver medal for Germany. Connors is digging deep. He looks as though he's going to try and hold on for the bronze medal, but Quiroga is coming fast from behind, so is Connors under pressure now. Here comes Jaeger. He's going to take the silver, or is it Quiroga is coming on? And now Connors is coming through the middle. Who's going to take it? Connors is going to take it. What a finish! The American bursting through the middle and taking the silver medal ahead of Jaeger. And Betancourt Quiroga just gets up to take the bronze medal. Well, Jaeger thought he had the silver. He loses out on all the medals and finishes in 4th. What a race!
Elation for Chen of the People's Republic of China. Oh, unfortunately for, well, it's Connors there. He is finished in silver position.
What a finish by Dennis Connors. We talked about his power on the flats. Dennis Connors wins a thrilling silver medal in the men's T1-2 road race. He suffered on the climbs. He hung in there on the climbs. He knew he had the power on the flats to outsprint the climbers, and that's exactly what he did. Found his way between Jaeger and Quiroga and put his wheel in front when it mattered.
What a powerful sprint from Dennis Connors of the USA to take silver. He really did come from far behind with a lot of speed to just take that silver medal. Unbelievable sprint there in the men's T1-2 road race. Such an exciting finish.
So the gold medal, Jianxin of the People's Republic of China, finishing 2 minutes ahead of Dennis Connors, who took the silver medal in a sprint finish, with Juan Betancourt, Quiroga taking the bronze, and Max Jaeger outsprinted in finishing in fourth. Well, absolute delight for all these riders. I don't think Betancourt Quiroga knew. He was so close in that sprint, he wasn't sure. And he's found out now that he has taken the bronze medal for Colombia. What a delight for Juan Betancourt Quiroga. He was the bronze medalist 3 years ago, and he's doubled up again here in Paris. World champion in the T2 classification in 2021. But this means so much for Juan Betancourt Quiroga. Well, it's been a tough day for Tim Celen of Belgium. Silver in Tokyo. He had a mechanical issue on the very first lap. It has been repaired, but it needed a second look at it. And he's rolling home now, Celen, and should come home in 6th place.
Yeah, good job, man.
Tim Celen of Belgium. Well, it'll be a disappointed Belgian as he comes into the finish now. Bronze in the individual time trial. He won't go away empty-handed from Paris, but he was so hoping for a medal here in the road race. But his hopes were scuppered by a mechanical issue in his T-bar at the back early on the first lap. And it came back to haunt him. He needed another stop to have it repaired. And Tim Celen is going to roll home in 6th place in the men's T1-2 road race here at Clichy-sous-Bois. Considering all his mechanical issues, 6 minutes and 17 seconds down, and that happened, his issues happened right at the beginning of the race. I feel he may well have been in the mix. Tim Celen of Belgium, 6th in the men's T1-2 road race after mechanically played issues during the race.
It's mostly water, guys.
A family affair for the Connors family, celebrating a remarkable silver medal for Dennis Connors. At one stage, he looked out of the medals within the last kilometre, but he dug so deep, knowing he's got the power to outsprint, and he did. There were no match for the gold medalist in the men's T1-2 road race. Jianxin Chen of the People's Republic of China. 1 hour and 15 minutes of pure class from the defending champion.
Oh, wasn't this an exciting sprint for the silver medal?
Well, a remarkable ride by Connors. He had to make his way past Gonzalez Guerrero in the women's race, and then out of the saddle in the sprint. The power of the man.
He finished elated and completely exhausted. What a embrace there from two riders, taking silver and bronze.
His way to the finish. Another rider who had mechanical issues today in the men's T1-2 road race, Jindrich Masin, and is relatively new to this sport, and he's a chemist by profession, and he will be delighted at having completed his first Paralympics, 9th in the time trial, and he's improved on that here in the road race. Jindrich Masin lost a lot of time on the elite group. He was 1:43 down after one lap, and he finishes now in 7th place. Jindrich Masin. Seventh in the men's T1-2 road race, Jindrich Masin of the Czech Republic. An absolutely thrilling women's T1-2 road race. Came down to a sprint to the line for three riders. And Heggelund of Denmark taking the gold medal ahead of Celen van Til of Switzerland. And Marieke van Soest of the Netherlands got up to take the bronze medal. Defending champion Jan Mahunk beaten out of the medals. Absolutely thrilling sprint for the medals here. Any one of these three could have been in the mix, could have taken the gold, but it was the Danish rider Heggelund who just had enough right at the end of these two laps to pip van Til and take the gold medal for Denmark.
Was an absolutely fantastic finish in the women's T1-2 road race. Heggelund of Denmark when she came in for the gold medal. Look at the celebrations from her support staff. Well, an absolutely incredible result. It was such a close finish, such a fight tight for that victory. Well, they never come easy at this level at the Paralympic Games, especially when you are the defending world champion from 2023 and also bronze medalist in the time trial here in Paris. Heggelund takes gold in the road race. T1-2. Well, here's the celebrations from Denmark.
Rolling to the finish line in the men's T1-2 road race after 3 laps. It's a 5-time T1 world champion, Giorgio Farroni. And Farroni will be coming home in 8th place in a race won by Jianxin of the People's Republic of China. Farroni 4th in the individual time trial. Just missed out on a medal there too, Tim Celen. Well, here he is coming in outside the medals, but certainly by no means out of the picture at 8th place in a field of 12. Sixth games for the Italian. Rolls to the finish. Italy's Giorgio Farroni, 14 minutes behind the winner, Jianxin. Giorgio Farroni in 8th place in the men's T1-2 road race. Canada's Nathan Clement. Men's T1-2 road race. Was a T1 world champion in the individual time trial in 2023. And Nathan Clement, well, he's done a great job here in finishing off this tough 42.6 kilometer 3-lap race around the streets of Clichy-sous-Bois. Giving everything all the way to the line is the 29-year-old Canadian. They'll go away with a silver medal from the individual time trial. And Nathan Clement in 9th place in the T1-2 road race here in Paris. Well, you arrive at these games trying to win a medal. He did in the time trial, but he finishes 9th in the T1-2 road race. Nathan Clement. 9 of the men in the T1-2 road race have completed the 42.6 kilometers. 3 riders still out on the roads, and we're waiting their arrival at the finish in Clichy-sous-Bois. From Romania, and it is Theodor Matican, the 27-year-old, who is 11th in the individual time trial here in the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games road events, and he is about to complete the men's T1-2 road race, and he will bring it home in 10th place. Theodor Matican. Last corner, well, he would have ridden a lot of this lap, the last lap and a half on his own, but he stayed motivated, stayed strong, and he's going to bring it home nice and strong as well. Theodor Matican equaling his position at the World Championships in 2023, and there he finished in 10th place, and likewise here. Man who hasn't yet been to a Para-Winter Games, but hopes to as a Para-Alpine skier, is 10th in the men's T1-2 road race. Theodor Matican. Finishing 22 minutes behind the winner, Theodor Matican, in 10th place for Romania in the men's T1-2 road race. final two riders in the men's T1-2 road race at Clichy-sous-Bois, the paracycling discipline here at Paris 2024's Paralympic Games. And Martin Heggelund of Denmark, and he's had the company of Kim Yongki of Korea all the way around this final lap, and they're going to race it out for 11th place in the men's T1-2 road race. All in, and it's going to be very close. It may well be the Korean athlete who's going to get there. Kim Yong-ki, the 39-year-old, is away, and he will take 11th place, it seems, ahead of Martin Heggelund of Denmark. 42.6 kilometers done. The road race. In 11th place, Kim Yong-ki, and in 12th place, Martin Heggelund of Denmark. Using his power over the last 100 meters or so, it is Korea's Kim Yong-ki. This puts 4 seconds or so into Martin Heggelund to ensure that he finishes 11th, and Heggelund down in 12th place in the men's T1-2 road race. Chen Jianxin of China, defending the title he won in Tokyo in sensational fashion and getting away from the chase group. Dennis Connors sprinting between Quiroga and Jaeger to take the silver medal, and Max Jaeger finishing out outside the medals as Quiroga picks up the bronze. Celen had bad luck on the first lap with a mechanical issue. Held on to finish 6 minutes down. Former world champion Giorgio Farroni in 14th place. And the T1 world champion Nathan Clement of Canada finishing in 9th.